Hello, everyone. We are going to get started in this week's podcast. I am so fucking irritated that I have made a podcast. Why did I put this on my plate? But nevertheless, I'm going to stay obedient and diligent to the goal and the promise and the purpose that I know God has on my life, which is for me to be seen, to be heard, and to make money off of my damn self. Okay, so this week we are going to be discussing the concept of a divine test. And I must say, I've been tested this week and I think I passed with a C plus. But regardless, C's get degrees and degrees can still bring in wealth. Okay, so I'm gonna stick by it. Progress, not perfection. I'm still learning. What a beautiful lesson. What a beautiful opportunity to still be learning. And let's get into the muck of it. So, anywho, let us get started. I am feeling many things. One, my computer has died, rest in peace, and is not turning back on. So, I have lost a lot of my files, and that includes the muck jingle and all the other things. So, you know what? I'm just going to accept life on life's terms, and going to know that I just have to show up, and God will fill in the gaps. I'm a perfectionist, so that is something that I am learning right now, this week, and this time. And I have to say that it's irritating being under the lesson of patience when you are one impatient. Okay, so what's been difficult for me is allowing myself to show up unpolished, well, what I think is unpolished, and to continue to just show up and continue to be consistent. I'm so irritated that I started a podcast, but one of the tests that I am going through, divine tests, is that I have to follow through with what I say I'm going to do, and I have to make sure that I live up to the purpose that God has on my life. Okay? So, let's get into the test that I had to learn this week. I got an opportunity given to me to cater for a gig that would involve the honoring the lead singer of Earth, Wind, and Fire, where essentially he would be trying my food. This is a great business opportunity, but it's so interesting that it came to me after I said that I was no longer giving out freebies for friends and family and people who aren't even friends and family but entitled as fuck and want me to basically uh, work for free, work for exposure. Well, you know what? I'm already exposed. I'm already discovered because I've been here. I've been here 28 years. I've been here. So there's no need for me to operate from that frequency of scarcity. And what I realized is that right when I told God that I was no longer going to accept breadcrumbs, this test comes to me where I am asked to cater an event for somebody I look up to, and then my price is getting negotiated. And while my price is getting negotiated, I am realizing I made a promise to God this week that I was going to value myself, and no matter what, no matter how important you are, or no matter how much I love you, my worth is non negotiable. And there is not a deficit on what I bring. And in my own experience, the people who request for um, a deal or negotiation or whatever are not only some of the most critical and spiritually sick individuals, but they are also the worst people to work with. more demanding than people who pay full price for my gifts. So, anyway, I responded to this inquiry saying, this is my price and this is what I can do. Mind you, this wasn't out of like crazy. It was $7 a plate for 100 people. It was up to $15 a plate for 100 people, up to $22 a plate for 100 people. And it was abundant and it was affordable and it was a good price for my services. And I was met with, can you reduce it? I mean, I don't know how much lower I could go. I don't know how much lower I could go than $7 a plate. I mean, it's so sad to think about it. And then I realized, here is the test. The test right now for me is being presented to me to essentially just show me that, am I going to live up to the promise that I made to God? And the truth is, I stood my ground, they apologized, and it's not their intention to exploit me, but because this event is for charity. And you know what, honey? Everybody, everybody wants charity. Everybody, everybody wants charity. And at some time, at some point, you've got to let people provide for themselves. And in the same breath, you've got to provide for your own self. So I said, I wish you all a good luck on your search. And then after that decision, the enemy comes in, fear, doubt, shame, lower frequency. It comes in and it says to me, you should get your food tasted by Philip Bailey, the lead singer of Earth, Wind, and Fire. This could actually be something for you. This could open doors for you financially. And then I said to the people, well, I'm open to hearing what your negotiations are, and I'll give you a yes or a no. But in that moment, I realized that if I accept breadcrumbs, I will never be able to expand to the frequency of abundance that God has promised me. Because what I'm showing God is I'm not ready to handle the blessing that I'm asking for. Because I'm not willing to stand my ground on my worth. And essentially, it means there's a little bit of a gray area on whether or not I'm being true to myself. And so what I decided to do, Divine Being, is sabotage myself after I had made a point to be in the grace of God. They responded essentially that they've hired another caterer and they're not really going to be interested in me. And I was like, wow, thank God that I could get out of my own way, but also an understanding that rejection is God's protection. And I said, well, if it follows through, if I'm meant to be there, I'm meant to be there. If I'm not meant to be there, I'm not meant to be there. And I can trust and know that in that spirit, in that way of living, in that acknowledgement, I am going to be able to live abundantly. I'm going to be able to live in the promise that God is trying to give me. And I really, really hope that my microphone isn't going absolutely crazy, but I don't have time to go through the ins and outs of this microphone right now. So it just is what it is. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to show up imperfectly, and I'm just going to know that I am valuable and know that I'm doing enough. And, if this podcast is meant to be, it's meant to be. But if it's not, then, if this is the last episode, then this is the last fucking episode, bitch. Okay? I hope you're having a very blessed week. Thank you for coming in. I hope that you're passing the tests in your life. Or maybe you're like me. You're moving through lessons and learning and progress, not perfection. But may I just send you away with one thing, and that is, if you are to want or know anything, it is that right now you are required to show up in any way, to keep going, to keep the faith, and let God do all the behind the scenes work. But you just show up and you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. All right? All the love.